Nobody's truly free, and absolute freedom as a concept is a myth. Remember when you were a kid and was slightly envious of the freedom you thought adults had? They had their jobs and their lives seemed pretty organized. All you had was the endless routine of school, and you were under the overprotective watch of your parents. You were counting down the days until you could break out of that cycle and seize the kind of freedom you believed all adults enjoyed. But you see, if we were to have a conversation with those adults today, we'll slowly realize that the childlike idea of freedom we had was and is naive, and it's stuff only made for superhero movies and such. There are layers to this, so let's consider a very basic example. Let's assume you are the hardest working person you know, constantly dreaming of working tirelessly, hitting all your targets without a break. But sooner or later, your body needs sleep, your mind needs a break. All it takes is a sick stomach or migraine or just pure hallucination from not sleeping for you to realize how stuck and limited we are by our physical bodies. We are stuck inside our bodies, we're captives to it, being told when to eat, when to go to the bathroom, when to sleep, when to wake up, and so on. Sounds eerily similar to the daily routine of a prisoner, not a free human being. Let's go a step further. You might be thinking, well, sure, you're right, my body is definitely limited, but my mind is unshackled. And that you cannot tame. I hate to break it to you, but that's not entirely true either. We can only think through the mind, and we can only think in the way our mind thinks. We are given one lens through which to see the world, with one type of software running on one type of hardware to process all that we intake and experience. Does that sound confusing? Let me break it down. Our minds operate within the constraints of the language and ideas we've learned. We might think we're free to choose our thoughts, but in reality, our environment, our biological makeup, and the cultural context we've grown up in all steer our thinking in certain directions. What amount of choice did we have in any of that? None. We don't know where our thoughts come from. We don't control the mind that spits out these thoughts. We didn't choose the cultural context that shaped our minds, that then shaped the kinds of thoughts we had, and so on and so forth. The rabbit hole is deep, but you get my point. Freedom is a paradox, and I think the need to reconcile the paradox is what makes it such a compelling project to undertake. The pursuit is more meaningful than its attainment, in a sense. We love the idea of choosing, or the freedom to choose, whether it's an illusion or not, because it gives us a sense of control and direction in our lives. We're completely restless and an existential mess without our options. But why though? I don't completely understand it. Humans are complicated. We hold conflicting emotions like love and hate, desire both stability and adventure, and seek companionship while valuing solitude. We often find perfection dull and boring, and even when everything is calm and going our way, we seek the next challenge, the next chaos, and embrace the unknown. We gamify our life, in a sense, where every level is a pursuit of what truly makes us happy until we get it and we're compelled to shake things up again. Even if the choices we have are influenced by factors beyond our control, the act of making decisions still feels empowering. It's this very act of choosing, whether it's what to eat, which career to pursue, or how to spend our time, that keeps us moving forward and engaged with life. The goal is not absolute freedom, but to embrace the opportunities for choice, even within daily restraints. Restraints or boundaries are not necessarily a bad thing. Freedom without discipline is just chaos. And even though we love a little chaos every now and again, we also need structure to make sense of it all. So craft that to-do list, stick to that routine, and even though the outer world seems as chaotic and random as ever, find comfort in the order you create within it. Find peace in the asymmetries, and listen to my podcast if you enjoy diving deeper into the mysteries of the mind and the big questions of life.